channel. So today we are going to do a makeup tutorial. It is going to be a voiceover, but it'll be awesome nonetheless. Today I felt inspired to do a look that I've been doing for a very long time, which is this kind of like gold, tangerine, and like turquoise feel. So I hope you enjoy it. All the products that I use will be listed down below. So, you know, before you start asking, what is that? What is that? It's down there, guys. Yeah, and you know what else I wanted to mention? You can't kind of see it, but this hair situation, like, this was on accident. And like, honestly, I'm just like, I love that. It's like this little like, what is that, like a little bun on the side? Sure, why not? I'll take it. I feel this look can be worn in many places and many occasions and things like that. Sometimes I've worn this look, which I have worn it quite a bit. I just wanted to finally do a tutorial on it, you know? I've worn it to like a festival, I've worn it to an evening out, a day look. It's a really versatile look. If you wanted it for an evening, the only thing I would do is I would just smoke out a little bit more and just make sure that the top, the crease in there, was just a little bit darker. And that's pretty much it. So, yeah guys, I really hope you enjoyed this look. And with that being said, let's get into it. Hey everyone, welcome, welcome. Yes, my one last little thing all over myself, and we'll move this right along. So we're gonna start off with Angel Veil Primer. I'm gonna go ahead and put that all over my skin, get it nice and ready for its base. I'm gonna mix these two bad boys right here for my foundation on a little silver tray. And the reason why I mix these two together is because right now it's not extremely hot, so I don't need that super full coverage matte foundation thing going. I just want it to be a little bit more hydrating. And I found out that mixing those two products together leaves a beautiful finish to the skin. Another technique I like to do is I like to use a buffing brush to just kind of put the foundation on there and then use a complexion sponge from Real Techniques to go ahead and just make sure it sinks straight into the skin. Using Laura Mercier's translucent setting powder, I'm going to go ahead and brush this right over my brows. I do this because I don't want any moisture in the brows, and then the pencil can lay and set easily. So with the L'Oreal Brow Stylist Definer, I'll go ahead and, yep, that happens sometimes. Have you ever reached for your brow pencil and you find out it's almost out? Yeah, life. So how I usually do my brows, and I'm showing you a little bit quickly here, is I usually outline them first. I make sure that the outside is set, the shape of it is set before I ever go inside to fill them. And as you can see, I don't really have like a strong arch right there, so I'll just go ahead and create that. And then I'll also extend them a little bit because mine are a little short. But yeah, this is how you just create your shape. If you ever want a brow tutorial, I'll be happy to make one. So yeah. After I'm done filling in my brows, I'll brush them back, make sure everything's blended and soft, and then I'll just repeat the same thing on the other brow. So with a flathead brush and some concealer, I'm going to go ahead and show you how I pretty much, if you ever make a mistake or step out of the line with your brows, or if you use powder and it kind of like gets everywhere, this is a really great technique to use to help clean up that area. And that same concealer I use to carve out the brow, I just drag it down to the lid and it dubs as a primer for my shadow as well. Going into my eyeshadow palette, I have my Ofra's Banana Powder right there, and I will use this just to lay down a base for my shadow. For my first transitional color, I'll use Peach Smoothie from Makeup Geek, and I will go ahead and place that right in my crease area. It doesn't show up as much because of how tan my skin is at the moment, but it still does its purpose, and you'll see later. For my crease color, I'll use Desert Sand from Makeup Geek, and I'll place that color right in my crease. I'm not going too far above it, I'm just focusing in that area, and then I'll softly buff out the edges. And of course, I will repeat on the other eye. I always like shooting from this angle. Somehow it always looks better than the other one, but meh. Once I like the amount of color I place there, I'll use a fluffy brush just to blend it all out. Then I'll go ahead and I will use Mocha from Makeup Geek with my dollar brush that I always love. And I will go ahead and just push the color in. If you can see, that's exactly what I do with my corner. I'm just pushing it in and just softly buffing it inwards.
I always talk about this brush because it was $1 from Elf Cosmetics, and yeah, it does exactly what I needed to do, even though it's not the most expensive or lavish brush out there. Once again, I will go ahead and just buff that color, dispersing it all over the crease area. And it's an oldie but a goodie. Here I'm going to use Half Baked in my Naked palette from Urban Decay. And for me, this is just my favorite gold, so it's if you have a gold eyeshadow, that will do. It's just my favorite gold eyeshadow. I'll use it dry, and then I'll go in there and I'll use it wet with the Max Fix Plus. I don't know what it is, but that name is such a tongue twister for me, which most words are for me, but you know, I digress. Here I'm just going to soften the edges wherever I put that lid color, just making sure that everything is blending seamlessly. With a NYX black gel pencil, I'm showing you that I want you to place it in the waterline, in the upper lid waterline. I am not even going to show you because I look horrible anytime I have filmed myself doing it. And voila, here I am, instantly done. With that same mocha color from Makeup Geek, I am using an angle brush and apply that color at the base of my lashes, just at the outer edge of it. I do this only because I have really round eyes and I notice it kind of like lifts it and kind of extends the corners a bit for me. I don't wear falsies, so let's curl those lashes. I'm going to use this Blink primer, and then I will use L'Oreal's Telescopic as the finishing mascara. Now here's where it's going to get fun, guys. I use Urban Decay's Covet at the base of my lash line, at the lower lash line, that is. I love this color, and they don't make it anymore, but don't worry, they have Junkie, which is the same equivalent to Covet. Then I'll use Makeup Geek's Poolside with Max Fix Plus on a brush, and what this is going to do is it's going to really intensify that color and bring out the blue in there, even though I went in there with kind of like a greenish eyeliner. I couldn't get that word. Mixing those two colors together is what brings out a true turquoise color that I love so much for this look. Then I'll use Becca's Under Eye Brightening Corrector, which I love, and I will just go put it exactly in that corner space where I have the most darkness, the color, discoloration of color, and then I'll just blend it out a little bit just to give the under eye just a brightening effect in general. And then I'll go ahead and I'll use a brush to just buff that right out. And with Maybelline's Dream Lumi Concealer, I'll go ahead and place this right on top of that Becca Corrector. And it also has a little brightening effect itself, so yeah, the underarms are rather bright in this look. And I will go ahead and buff it out just like I did the corrector as well. I'll also use the Real Techniques Complexion Sponge just to make sure that under eye is smooth as can be before I go and put anything on top of it. It's super important to have that area smoothed out. With Laura Mercier's Translucent Setting Powder, I'll go ahead and set that right on top. The reason I told you making sure that smooth area is because if the smoother the underneath is before the powder, the less creasing and visibility there will be. Going back in with Desert Sand from Makeup Geek, I'm going to use this color right beneath the turquoise color. And what this is going to do is it's going to really finish it off and make sure that you're not looking like you're having a bunch of just blue running down your face. It kind of gives it like a cap off to the look, if that makes any sense. There you go. With the same concealer I used under my eye, I'm going to go ahead and just kind of like highlight some areas that I want to bring forth. My nose, chin, my forehead area. And no, that is not a ghost in a background. That is my son Phoenix, who loves to interrupt even though I tell him not to. And you'll see him, and there he is. There he is. My little baby saying hi. With the new e.l.f. bronzing palette, I use one of the colors to contour my cheeks. I'm still playing with this palette, so I feel like I haven't perfected exactly what colors I like to use where, but I've been using it for both bronzing and contouring. And here I'm just showing you what color I use to actually bronze the skin and warm it up. So far, I've actually liked this palette. It's not that bad. I feel like I still have to like work with it because there's like so many other colors that I'm just kind of like, which one is the perfect one for me? But all in all, good palette. Here I'm just showing the color I used from the same e.l.f. bronze palette. I used it to contour my nose ever so gently. I like using powders to contour only because I feel like it shows just a soft effect rather than a really strong, stark one. So yeah. For blush, we're using the Wet n Wild Color Icon in the color Apricot in the middle. I love this color. It's a peachy color that complements that turquoise beautifully, and it offers a nice wash of color on the skin without looking like you're trying too hard. And now for the divine highlight, darling. I'm using Laura Geller's Gilded Honey, a goodie. Everyone knows this one. It's awesome. Putting it on the high points of my cheeks, using it a little bit underneath my brow bone. I love this brush that I bought at a craft store because it's so thin it can kind of like get everywhere. And it's also tack-on, so I'm not having to worry about it actually soaking up any of the product if I use the Max Fix Plus, which I often do. Did you hear me struggle over that word? I'm telling you, Max Fix Plus. There you go. I said it better that time. And because one brush is never enough, I'm going to use this Morphe fan brush to help me get my glow on even more. We're gonna shine to the heavens, guys, all right? And with the same highlighting color, I'm gonna go ahead and with Max Fix Plus, I'm gonna spray it and tuck it right there in the corner of my eyes. I have close set eyes, and I find that this trick works so good for giving the illusion of more space in between. Using the same Laura Mercier powder, I'm gonna go ahead and take a little bit on that on my brush, tap it off, and just buff that right into the skin, absorbing any oil and making sure that all the colors on my face are blending together. This last step is so good to just make sure everything's looking seamless. The powder is gonna make sure that the makeup wears longer and everyone's happy. For the lips, I'm using a lip liner from Rimmel that's called Tiramisu. It's a really pretty color, and you'll find that it can match a lot of your lipsticks. So yeah, it's a good one to keep on ya. Then I'm gonna go in with Ofra Cosmetics Long Lasting Liquid Lipstick in the color Rio. This beautiful peachy color is going to work beautifully on so many skin tones, so if you don't have it, it's a must-have. I'm topping that color with a gloss from Rimmel. The name of this gloss is so hard to pronounce that I'm not even gonna try, but you will find all the names of the products down below in the description box.
And there is the final look. I did it with my Makeup Geek eyeshadows, as you saw, but this is a look that I've been doing for a couple of years, dare I say. And you could easily achieve it with the Naked palette as well. This is what I used to use before, and then I would just use a single turquoise eyeshadow, one that you find just to do the bottom line. Likewise, I know that Urban Decay doesn't have this color anymore, Covet, and they changed it to, they have, what's the name called? Junkie, it's called. So if you are looking for the equivalent of this, Junkie is the color that Urban Decay has for this. Anyhow, I hope you enjoyed the look, and yeah, leave your comments below if you tried it out or if you have any